Look, Deepak, I'm busy right now. Is this important? How do you handle that objection? Hi, guys. My name's Deepak Shukla, founder at Pearl Lemon Sales. We're a sales training and development agency based in the UK as well as the USA and serving clients worldwide. And here today, in our series 119 Days of Cold Calling Training, we're here to talk about the I'm busy right now objection handle. But before we get into it, feel free to click the link below to get access to 17 additional strategies that are not shared in this training. So fundamentally, this is again a variation of the I don't have time right now, but it's rather the word of I'm busy. So busy can be I'm just about to head into a meeting. Look, Deepak, I'm really slammed. I've got a lot on. I've got 100 things to do. They're all variations of the I'm busy right now objection handle. And there's a couple of things that I want to talk about this that are different from the I don't have time right now handle, because in this instance, again, the totally understand where you're coming from. Totally understand where you're coming from, George. This is just going to take 30 seconds, I promise you, mate. And then you'll be able to tell me whether you think it makes sense to allocate more time to it. I think that, and again, guys, please do take note of all of these examples that I'm giving right now, examples that you're hearing throughout. But with the I'm busy right now objection handle, what you need to think about is potentially different from the, this will just take 30 seconds, 30 seconds of your time, is to make sure that you don't say, listen, I think you're going to want time. You're going to want time when you hear what I have to tell you. I think you're going to make to want time. This is important, or you'll really, I think you'll really enjoy this once you've heard this. Those types of lines sound, they lean into a little bit more of being a cheesy sales line, which I would be careful to try and avoid. So if someone says, look, I'm really busy right now, or I'm slammed right now, saying, for example, something to the effect of, like, Richard, this is I think you're gonna love what I'm about to tell you. Richard, I think that you're gonna really want to hear what I'm about to tell you. Richard, I understand that you're busy. If you could just spare 1 second, like the first couple that I've just described, you need to make sure that the pitch that you've got is a no-brainer in terms of why they need to hear it. So if you're selling something that's a commodity, so for example, the truth is sales training to some companies will be considered a commodity because there's many sales training businesses out there. So that isn't, for example, a tie-in that I would use saying, Richard, you're really going to want to hear this, or Richard, it's really important that you hear this right now. How would you like the idea of, someone, how would you like your sales team to be calling busy decision makers like yourself? So you do need to have a really strong pitch that follows up with that kind of interruptive. Deepak, I'm really busy right now. This needs to be important. This better not be a sales call, otherwise, I need to go. And I'd say, Richard, it is massively important that you do listen to this. If you were able to put yourself in a position where you knew that your sales team were basically making time with busy decision makers like yourself, having them hear ultimately what your company has to offer and landing more appointments, more qualified meetings, and ultimately more book deals into your diary. I mean, Richard, would that perhaps ease up some of the pressures of your day? So that's an example of a way that you could take it, but it's not an example, to be honest with you, that I would necessarily advise, because there's an opportunity for a bit of kind of blowback or downside where the prospect could say, Richard, I asked you not to sell me something. It sounds like you're going to sell me something. Is that what I'm hearing? Or Deepak, I'm asking you to not sell me something. It sounds like you're selling me something. That's what I'm hearing right now. So thinking about elements like that are quite important. So when someone says, look, I'm busy right now, just be mindful of not saying you really need to hear, or being very careful about the moments when you do employ an expression such as that, alongside thinking about not using the adversarial. This will only take a minute. If you could just spare a minute, all I need is a minute. Any of those kinds of responses are likely to either get shut down, or if you are rewarded with compliance, it is compliance, which is like forcibly being asked because of the laws of politeness or etiquette for the recipient to kind of listen. And not, so if you say, Deepak, if you could just give me 1 minute, I would listen, but I would be quite pissed off whilst I was listening, ready to just shut you down at the first instance. And that's the problem with it feels interruptive in that you're forcibly intruding yourself into my space. And it's because You haven't used the empathetic. Look, I totally understand. I'll keep this super quick. That is much more empathetic and respectful of someone's time. If you say, I hear you, that makes sense. I totally understand. I'll make this quick. I'll keep this quick. It's going to be less than 30 seconds. You'll be able to decide whether this is for you immediately. All of those elements respect someone's time. Where you don't use them with I'm busy right now, you run the risk of really pissing someone off because they'll listen, but begrudgingly listen. And that will lead to the same negative end result, which is they say, look, this isn't for me. Please don't call again. Thank you. Goodbye. So really be mindful of the choice of words that you use, as well as the tone that you use when someone says, I'm busy right now. What is it? Be mindful, be respectful. Don't say, I totally understand you're busy. All I need is a minute. Yeah. Can I just have one minute of your time, please, Richard? These kinds of responses are not going to lead you to be met with success. So this is where also emotional management mastery, see training number 55, comes in, because you need to be in a position to be able to elegantly and unemotionally handle that response by saying, if someone says to you, Deepak, I'm really busy right now. What is it? Be like, George, totally understand that you're busy. I'm going to keep this super quick so it's respectful of your time. All I need is 30 seconds. Is that okay, mate? Or is that okay, George? And that's a really strong and assertive, respectful way to handle a response of busyness that should be led with, okay, you know what? As long as you're quick, I'll hear you out. What do you want to say? And that's a good way to handle that. I'm busy right now. Objection handle. Thanks, guys.
Remember, we've got 17 gated strategies just waiting for you. All you need to do is bing, subscribe, as well as click the link in the description below to get access to those 17. Get some.